This was the first Dozer that I made. I made it as a challenge to make tracks that were easy to make and would look good with actual pads, and they also turn fairly easily. And this one also has an adjustment by taking off the fuel filler place. Take one screw out, the cab comes off, and then you can adjust the tension of the tracks by raising lower the drive cog here. Other than that, it was basically built somewhat the same, put together in sections, so everything would work quite well. Originally, if I turned the air cleaner, it would raise and lower the braid. Right now the little string that's attached to it is broken. And also similarly, by turning the exhaust pipe, it would raise and lower the ripper that's on the back. So I'll just move that around there, another shot of that, and a shot of that from the back there. This was a fun model to make, and I learned quite a bit. And I also made a skidder. The Dozer here was modeled after a picture of a D8 high track Dozer. This one is modeled after a picture of a S7 International, and its pivots here this way, and it also pivots this way as well. This axle will pivot up and around. And the winch operates like I made for the Dozer that you already seen, where this goes in and then you can turn it to bring in the cable, and then there's a little nail you can put through there to stop it. So that's my S9 International model. So this is my logging equipment that I have now, and my road building equipment. I'll just put the other Dozer in there too. I think you can see a picture of that there. Yeah, I'll just run through the model cars that I made. This is a model, true enough, but not a copy or a model of an existing brand. This is the third generation from where I started from. I was trying to design model cars that would look good and easy to make. This was made by laminating a section of wood in the center here, and then cutting out the inside on the bandsaw, and then adding two sides, and of course tapering the front here, and then the fenders were added, and that's all it was to it. Not a complicated where it's made up of a lot of individual parts. These were just standard wheels here, and you'll notice the difference when you go to when I show you the next ones. The second one I made, I believe this is the second one, and it's where I took a picture of a Model A Ford 1930 and did the same process. In this one, you'll notice the wheels are different here. I've laid it out and added spoke holes, made them look a lot more attractive, you might say, eh? So that's my Model A Ford. And then someone on Lumberjocks wanted me to make an international truck. I believe this is a 1935 International pickup truck, done in the same method. The way I attach the fenders on, and of course the wheels only go this far. There's a wedge that goes in here. It allows to curve the fenders over, and so they look a lot more realistic that way. And you'll notice on this one here, I color the wheels before I remanufacture them there, and it sets it off quite a bit there. I believe this one is the next one that I made. It's a model of probably a 1935 Chev, or it could be a Ford too. I just can't remember exactly what it was. You'll notice on this one here, you'll see how the fenders curve around and go down near the bottom there. That's how old vehicles were produced. They had the center section with the hood, and the fenders were entirely separate, and they attached to the very bottom there. So this was an easy way to make it. This one I think I went a little extra mile and made a little bit on the bottom as well. And then, because these models are just made by pictures, all I do is I use these 2-inch wheel here, and then I take a picture off the images on the internet, blow it a side view, blow it up till the wheels are 2 inches, and then it's just a matter of cutting out the profile shape, fender shape, etc., and joining it in. I just like the lines of this vehicle here with the large fenders, and of course they're curved in as well on the front there, as you can see. Very easy to make models like this, and they look somewhat original. Then you just have to add fenders and headlights and horns on this one. And then the last one that I made was this one here. This was modeled after a picture on a TV series called Foyle's War, and this is the type of car that they drove in that movie. It is a 1937 Wolseley. Of course, it's a British drama, so it would be a British type car. The British had a lot of very nice designed cars, and I like to make a number more of them. So there's nothing new on this other than the process to make the body and fenders, etc., is illustrated on lumberjocks.com on this. Okay, here's the group of models that I just showed you, all put together there, and I'll just do a sweep here. This was my first model, developing the technique that I use, just a model from my imagination of an old vehicle. Then we go to the Model A Ford, and then the 1935 International, on to around a 1935 Ford or Chev, and then we go to the 1935 Mercedes-Benz, and finally the 1937 Wolseley car from Foyle's War. And we'll just see what we got here. The models of the logging equipment here. We have the International S9, and I don't believe I mentioned what model this was. This is it'd be International TD20, a TD20, and this one was the D8 high-track excavator type bulldozer, and of course this one had the blade and the winch, so it would be used primarily in the logging industry. Of course, they need that type of vehicle dozer as well to make the roads, and commonly used in the lumber industry, as of course, is the skidder. This is what they call a line skidder. Most of the newer models are grapple type, where they use feller bunches to fall the trees. They're in a bunch. Skidder backs up with a grapple, snaps up the whole load, and away they go. Anyway, that's my models. So these are my models. In one area of the woodworking that I do a lot of other woodworking, of course, many other projects in the line of furniture, a lot of lathe work, etc. You can find entries for all these projects with additional pictures, etc. on lumberjocks.com under Bushmaster. So thanks for looking, and I hope you enjoyed this short video of some of the things that I do.